Good morning, everyone. It is finally not Tuesday. Push the limits of your loadouts. Call to arms. I'm not here for call to arms today. I'm here for my new stasis build. I am very proud of my new stasis build. I worked it out with Booney again, and I put it in a little slot because I'm keeping this one. This one's really cool. I didn't really focus on the armor sets. Obviously, I've got a bad mixture of Tech Sec and Smoke Jumper, so I'm benefiting from Tech Sec, but I don't fire kinetic anything. But that's because it's not the point. Here is a look at the style. I will say it is literally just all Street Scholar and then Shards of Stillness. I didn't really want to get into style on this one. I don't mind it. I think it looks nice. It's a full set of armor, so I mean, it's most likely gonna look good, and it did. To go over the exotics, I've got Winter's Guile, which is Warlord's Sigil. Defeating targets with melee attacks increases your melee damage, and targets frozen by Penumbral Blast automatically shatter. So that kind of guarantees that you are going to get a kill, at least on smaller enemies, with your Penumbral Blast. And if you're looking for mods, here's those mods. Just kind of go over those real quick. I don't want to get into them much, but if you pay attention to them, you can kind of understand why they are there. And then Cryosthesia 77k, because it looks funny. And, LN2 Burst, which is just Charge Shot, which instantly freezes people. Freezing people with this build is nice. And then I have BXR 55 Battler for longer range engagements. And also for the sake of Barrier. And to kind of complete the list here, because you have Barrier from this, Unstoppable from my sidearm, and then the other half for movement, because Eager Edge. So on to the actual subclass. It's Winter's Wrath because we have no other option, Healing Rift, Strafe Glide, Penumbral Blast, because we have no other option, but also because it benefits from Winter's Guile, if you remember. And then Glacier Grenade. You could use anything, but seeing as the main damage is coming from Penumbral Blast, I kind of thought to myself, why not just give myself more defensive options? So I went with the Glacier Grenade to give myself a wall of stasis, just in case I need, to get away from snipers and stuff. Ice Flare Bolts, shattering a frozen target automatically spawns the Seekers. Track and freeze other nearby targets to freeze them. So, again, I'm already shattering people as soon as I freeze them with Penumbral Blast. So that just immediately makes more Seekers to freeze more people. Glacial Harvest, freezing them creates stasis shards around the frozen targets, and, those are good because those give me frost armor, but they also give me, if you'll read at the top, a small shard of stasis matter that can be collected to restore melee energy. In my fragments here, Whisper of Hedrons, so increase weapon handling and health after freezing a target with stasis. Increased melee gained from picking up stasis shards. Whisper of Fractures, so shattering a frozen target with a melee grants a stack of frost armor, which is, again, good because damage resistance. And also, small note that Penumbral Blast is really short range. It doesn't have much range at all to it. So it's really good to have these sources of frost armor so that you can kind of keep yourself alive. And then, of course, you have Whisper of Conduction, which is nearby stasis shards track your position. A lot of people with stasis are probably using this just because it makes stasis shards easier to get. You have to go less out of your way to go grab them, so, it all kind of makes sense. So I am going to take this into a solo mission first and just kind of show you guys the capability. I'm going to launch it normally. Reminder that this is on Grandmaster difficulty, so everything is delta 25 above me. So that kind of changes the whole damage and everything. Okay, Glacial. So, as you can kind of see, you get your Penumbral Blast almost immediately after using it. Cryosthesia is your main weapon for this, obviously, because of the freezing. It makes all of this just loads easier. Come on. Okay, cool. Here we go. Yeah, BXR-55 is still like one of my favorites. It's really good long-range engagement. Come on, die. Man, I gotta say, every time I've been doing this mission, it turns out to be one of those, what is it? One of the ones with the Fallen all in it. And man, that is a pain in the ass. This mission is so much easier when it's not a, this mission is so much easier when it's not the fucking Fallen. Ah, damn. Yeah, kind of overextended. Die. Clear off this scanner. Wait, does this do more damage? Not really. Okay. It's one way to go about it. Yeah, I would say that this thing does pretty good. Because, I mean, the frost armor gives you a lot of chances to get in. And really make some noise. Come on, Barrier Knight. Okay. So there's that first section done. You know, good, add clear, as most Warlock builds are. But, yeah. I could get used to using my melee more. I'm so used to grenade builds that, you know, pushing the F key doesn't really come to mind. But it's important to do it, because, I mean, it's part of my damage increase. Oh yeah, so another reason I chose this, and I don't think well, okay. I figured it would be obvious, but I don't think I went over it specifically, so I'm gonna go over it quick. Remember that aspect that changes it so that I, get stasis shards whenever I freeze people? That's part of the reason why I use Cryosthesia, because its LN2 burst helps me, you know, continue to have these melees. Well, that was just the most beautiful crowd decimation I've ever seen. Good chunk of damage. Oh wait, it's such a short little boost. I just realized that now, that Warlord Sigil is like the tiniest little boost. Okay. Not really a problem though. Because I mean, here, I'm gonna do this. It's not really a problem. Warlord's Sigil is still doing massive damage because of the fact that it's instantly shattering. And shatter does a lot of damage. It's definitely better for ad clear the melee. Just because my melee stat's high enough to where it does a ton of damage against it. Ow, okay, that's gonna be the death. Okay. This mission is weirdly inconsistent on spawning. Sometimes it spawns you in the arena, and sometimes it spawns you way out there. Like behind the wall. I always find it funny. It's not like a major inconvenience, because as long as you have your stuff set up correctly, you'll always get an A rank. I know easier said than done for some, you know, more casual players. I don't know, I consider myself, like, kind of casual about it. But I would consider myself to have been more casual back when I didn't even understand, like, how to make builds and just slap together whatever sounded cool. Because genuinely, I was like that for a long time. I just kind of put together whatever sounded interesting. I didn't really touch aspects or fragments. I just put on a piece of armor that was really good. It was more often than not the sun bracers. So, I mean, you know. But since then, the sun bracers have gotten a major nerf, so... Where is my little fucking rock that I have? There it is. Actually, is this stuff rocks, or is it, like, hive magic? Wait, do I do more damage while I'm in this? I did slightly more damage. Huh. It could be coincidence. It could just be from distance. Come over here. I'm gonna die if I am not extremely careful, because witches are the bane of my existence, and they make it very hard to do anything. Finally, okay. Ooh, what's that hood? So, boss damage? Severely lacking. It does not do great with bosses at all. But I mean, in my opinion, it's a fine build. It does good on anywhere from small enemies all the way up, right up until the big enemies that just aren't bosses. Just barely aren't bosses. Yeah, I would say that this build is one that I'm going to be keeping, obviously, because I made a slot for it. If I could find a better exotic, I would, but I think it's fine how it is now. It helps just kind of be up close, get rid of those ads that are, you know, probably collecting around you. Because it just says melee kills. It doesn't have to be powered melee. It can be, you know, regular melee. I have my melee so much that it doesn't really matter. But, you know, it could definitely be a good idea to kind of send out your penumbral blast for the first attack to take down the first enemy, and then chain up until however many maximum stacks between enemies as you kind of refreeze them with your ice flare bolts, and then kind of, you know, work your way up to that next penumbral blast that you can probably use on your next big target, say a champion or the boss. That boss is hard to do that with because the enemies don't really collect. So it's just not going to work out well there. But yeah, I think this build is pretty good. If you want to make it yourself, go right ahead. Obviously, I can't claim rights to it, so... Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I'm glad you came. Have a good day, night, evening, afternoon, morning, or perhaps a good bug squash. Maybe you're squashing bugs while you watch this video, you know? Never know. All right, give me any ideas you have for builds down in the comments or anything you want to see. Love you guys. Bye-bye.